Good evening, chaps. Is my microphone working okay?
Alrighty, I think we're ready. Let me know if you can hear me and all that fun stuff. Yay! Sound works. Huzzah! So welcome everybody. So we got some more new faces. Hello, hello. Just gonna go through our usual disclaimer. There are certain things we cannot discuss here, such as, abuse appeals for warnings and suspensions, outcomes or information of investigations of past or open or current abuse reports, that kind of stuff. And there might be some other topics we can't get into, but we'll try our best. So this is just a general open Q&A for you guys to learn more about what my team does, the fun times of the governance team. You don't have to use voice if you don't feel comfortable. It's just a thing I'm doing. So if you would rather type, go ahead and type. And other than that, I will take the floor. No, I'm not taking the floor. I will give the floor to you. You can have the floor. It's a nice floor. And you guys can come at me with questions. It's a very grassy floor. Hopefully it doesn't make anybody itchy. Really, no questions today? Might be a quick and easy meeting. Corky does not because she has moved on to bigger and better things, being awesome that she is. But there's someone else on my team who is starting to do that, so we just got to get that ball rolling and all that fun stuff. So,
Because we would love to invite you over to our place, obviously, but you're often very stretched. So I was thinking if you did a class here or something, we could bring people in. I don't know how many people you'd be happy with in a class, but it would kill two birds with one stone, as it were.
yeah, totally. Yeah, once we get that all sorted out, we got so many things going on. It's been on our list of things to do, but things keep on getting reshuffled and stuff. But if we do host a class, we'll definitely put it up on the user group page as like a little special event thing. If you're coming across anybody is engaging in hate speech or just those sort of like hate groups and that kind of thing, feel free to file an abuse report so we can review it and see what we can do about it. We definitely do not like it when people decide to get all, what are appropriate words? Being a royal jerk with that kind of thing. We don't have much of a tolerance for people who engage in hate speech. Yes, asshattery. I have other colorful words, but I have to tone it down. It's really hard. But yeah, if you come across that, feel free to file an AR and we will take a look. Yeah, if it continues to happen, just feel free to file more errors. It's possible that we might not have gotten to it yet, so we're pretty backlogged. Or maybe we just couldn't find anything at the time, or maybe we did do something and they just keep doing it. We don't just because someone gets reported and we action doesn't mean the action is a termination. We'll start with warnings and suspensions. So sometimes people will be like, "Well, why didn't you do anything?" Well, we did, but you don't know that because we can't tell you that, kind of thing. So if it keeps on happening, definitely keep reporting it because that gives us an idea that it's a repeat issue. So we kind of have a pattern and a history there that we can refer to. Why, thank you. It was a joint effort between us and some other teams. Quite happy. It was pretty chill. We actually got to enjoy the interviews instead of just constantly no, stop. Why are you being a jerk? Yeah, that one wasn't fun, but they got the good old Secret Service tackle, as I like to call it. So people can try and act a fool, but it usually doesn't last long. It doesn't end well for anybody but us, really. And we do get a lot of stuff directed at us. We're usually pretty good at tanking it, but yeah, I get some people occasionally that try and cuss me out. I'm like, oh, that's adorable. Oh, you sweet, sweet soul. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But I don't know if that's a limitation with our voice service or not. It's not really my realm of expertise there, but that would be pretty cool. All right, does anybody else have any other questions, comments, other things? This coffee hasn't quite absorbed in my system yet, so words are hard. If you think they're related, like if you've reported someone before and then you find another account that's doing the same thing, you can always add in your report, like, hey, so reporting this person for doing this also seems like it could be related to this person I reported, that kind of thing, so that we can, go through and link and see if we can link anything and compare the two, see if there is actually a tangible connection there for us to look at. Also, describe what they're doing, what kind of spam are they doing? Are they doing it through note cards? Are they doing it through landmarks? Have you ejected and banned them or not? That kind of thing. Yeah, we don't accept note cards in general as evidence just because they can easily be altered. But if someone's sending note cards, spamming sending them, we can look in our stuff and see what's going on, usually.
Kristin, we've recently seen probably the same account coming back over and over with false marketplace links, they're phishing links. What is the fastest way to get a message, or what category should be used for a quicker turnaround than normal? Because these are obviously very damaging links, especially to new users. They usually open a conference on everyone and post in this fake link.
You could probably use one of the fraud categories, since it is actually a fraud issue. We escalate those to our fraud team to handle. A lot of the times, the accounts are either created by people trying to phish and jack someone's account, or they've had their account compromised themselves, and it's just being used to spread the phishing links to continue the cycle. So you can use one of the fraud categories, and that'll usually pop up for us, and then we'll take a look. And if we see that they are indeed spamming phishing links, we will escalate it accordingly. usually sometimes we end up finding them before we get to the report because it's usually very obvious. The teams are usually aware of other accounts, like, oh, this person got compromised. Oh, look, here's all these other accounts and phishing links. So there's a lot of overlapping with that. But if you find one, just use one of the fraud ones. It should be fine. Yeah, I've noticed that with phishing links, and it's like, what are you doing? But that's just, how they work. They're trying to get as many chances as possible for someone to click on it and enter in their information. So it's a good tactic on their end, but it sucks for everybody else. So that's why you gotta be very careful on what you click and read the link. Some of them are really bad links, like everything's misspelled and there's so many extra things to it. You're like, this isn't even remotely what, but people click on them. Usually on autopilot, they just click and then they're like, oh, let me log in, and they're like, oh, I just got charged $500, and there goes my account. Yeah, I've seen that one. There was another one that was really bad. It was like Marketplace, but it was spelled like terribly. It was so bad. But people click on them. And yep, that is a part of our process. When we find phishing links, we will report it to the domain where it comes from so they can shut it down. But it's really easy for them to make new ones, which is just irritating. What kind of bots are we talking about? Are we talking about people trying to game traffic? That kind of thing? You can always report them. We'll take a look. I've seen some similar reports of just bots popping in and popping out. We don't really know what they're doing. They're just there, and then they leave. But they don't seem to be really bothering anybody. They kind of creep people out. We get a lot of people saying, like, they're stalking me. I'm like, I don't think they're actually stalking you. It could be to, like, just broken landmarks. We see that sometimes where people are just sending their bots or their accounts or whatever to what used to be something else, and it's like someone's yard. And they're like, why are these people showing up in my yard? Yeah, it's a weird one. But you can report them if we find anything. We can take a deeper look. Yeah, most of the time they're pretty harmless. So usually when we see them, sometimes they might just be scanning just for general information. Nothing like, personal information or trying to spy on people, but just general like land info, and who knows what they're trying to do. They're just being weird. But yeah, usually they're harmless. But if if you get a weird feeling, just feel free to report it and we'll take a look. Because who knows? Sometimes we might find something we're like, oh no, you need to stop this. Don't do that. I haven't seen any vampire ones lately, but I found a bunch a while back that were like all themed after Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton. That was funny.
The vampire ones work on a leash thing, don't they? They go out and do the biting. So the other person up the tree who owns them all gets all the kudos for it, or whatever it is, the merit marks.
Oh, yeah. That thing. Oh, vampire roleplay systems. They're always interesting. I've actually seen any land purchases by bots in a long time, but yeah, usually we're like, no. But yeah, these things, usually from what we see, they're not actually trying to buy land. They just kind of just pop in and just leave. Oh my god, I remember those. Those are funny. I think we had a few reports on them. Like, they're saying nice things to you. What the heck? How dare they? They told me I was beautiful. I'm like, oh, okay. Jeez. All right, we got about 30-ish mass minutes left, so if anybody has any more questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, Kristin, well, this is a question that's probably been asked a lot of times, perhaps even by me before, but it's about voice griefing, bad behavior in boys. Just before in our land, there were a couple guys, disposable accounts, that were saying, I mean, really nasty things about another visitor. It was racist things. I know they were just trolls, but it's the kind of behavior that should be reportable. The problem, as always, is how much can we really rely on reports made on things that happen on voice. Therefore, we have no way to provide evidence.
Yeah, so voice stuff is really tricky because it mostly entails that we need to be there to hear it, and actually observe the behavior. But you can still definitely report it, because that way it gives us a history. If we look, even if we get to the report and we're like, well, they're not even on the region right now, we missed the opportunity. We don't know exactly what they were saying beyond what was described in the report. But sometimes we might find that they're either repeat offenders, people that we already are aware of, and we don't want them on our service anyways. There could be many other things that they might be up to that we can, action them for. And if anything, it gives us a good idea. Like, if we get a bunch of reports of someone voice griefing or saying stuff on voice that they shouldn't be, we can, take a closer look at them and maybe try and, be a little bit more proactive and that kind of stuff.
So it still has value to not just report it ourselves, but advise people to report these things even if they are in voice, because then you Lindens have enough different reports to know it's reliable, right?
Well, we still need the evidence, but if we, if there's someone obviously doing something on voice that is against the rules, like going to hate speech, saying racist things, that kind of stuff, we still don't condone that. It's still against our terms of service. It's just we need evidence to back it up for all of our stuff. But yeah, if people report it, it makes us aware that there's an issue going on, so that we can take a deeper look and see if there's anything that we can actually action on, and if there's any evidence that we can gain from that. And if there isn't, at least they are on our radar, which is never a good place for people to be. You don't want to be on my radar. I will find you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right. Does anybody have anything else? No. Does that mean we can adjourn early? Last call.
I've got a quick one. I think I know the answer to it already. You know these raffle boards where you pay 10 or 15 Linden into it and someone wins? Presumably they're now against terms of service, are they? Is that a skills thing or a random thing?
It would really depend on the raffle board and how it's used, and if it's in violation of the skill gaming policy, which we try not to interpret too much because there's all sorts of fun legal stuff around it. But it really depends on whether or not it classifies as a game of chance or not.
The raffle, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, you don't always get back what you paid in, but that's the whole point, isn't it?
That seems... We have had reports of those, so if you see one and you think it might be a little sketch as far as violating the skill gaming policy, definitely report those. They might not be in compliance with the skill gaming program. There you go,
Right.
Corky.
Because Corky said she would report it. I was thinking of putting one in, Corky, so I take it that's a bad idea, is it? I won't do it.
Got a gotcha board. Oh,
That's
gotcha.
the thing, isn't it? You put the catcher in and people pay money and get a load of old rubbish out of it. It's a shame, isn't it?
I mean, if I get one of those like little slappy hands that you get from the gumball machine, that'd be amazing. Those are fun.
The rule is you have to get out at least what you've put into it. Is that right?
In general, yeah, you're supposed to. Technically, you're not supposed to lose anything. It's like, you put in stuff and then you don't get anything in return. It's kind of weird. So yeah, it's kind of like, with splitters and stuff like that. People put money into it and then you might not get anything. It's kind of expected. If you pay for something, you're supposed to get something in return. But if you pay for something and someone else gets the money, it's a little weird. Or if you don't get anything at all.
Very difficult when you're trying to think of fun games, especially for new users. I don't mind fronting the money for it, but you want them to be able to, you don't want to be robbed blind, if you know what I mean. So you want there to be some sort of small loss if they play it thousands and thousands of times.
See you later, Dragon Lady. Thanks for stopping by. Glad you're enjoying Second Life. All right, does anybody have any last minute questions before we adjourn? I feel you. I left my brain in bed too. I miss my bed. I want to go back.
Absolutely true, that is. 2 days running, 2 different outfits, the shorts haven't raised. I mean, how humiliating is that?
I saw that earlier when I was up on London City. I was about to say, as long as your pants res here, because it's the G-rated region, you should be fine.
Why the shorts? Why not something else? Why the shorts every time?
They just want to be free, man. Just let them live their life.
Thank you tremendously.
You're welcome. Coffee. Have a good night. Well, unless anybody has any last-minute questions, concerns, other fun tales, I think it's about time to wrap it up. All that fun stuff. So, speak now for forever hold your peace. Words are hard. Let me look at my calendar. 2 weeks. What am I doing in 2 weeks? What is today? Yep, should still be good for 2 weeks unless something comes up. Something does come up, I'll pop it up on the word the wiki page, which you can find now. Boop. I'll get that updated. So yeah, if there's any other cancellations or updates to it, it should be in there. And the meetings get posted on that link I just linked in there. Linky, 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 dinky. All right, it's been nice talking to everybody. Hope everybody has an awesome day / night, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are. And I will hope to see you guys next time.